Welcome back for another video. Final thoughts ahead of Gameweek 17 with the biggest questions and dilemmas picked out to answer, along with the latest news from today's press conferences and then my final team. First question from J7 who says, when there's such a clear template, how do you gain rank effectively each week? I think a trap that's easy to fall into is going differential for the sake of it. Now Saka, Palmer and Salah feel like they're in every team right now. Live FPL's got a tool that shows you the ownership of player combinations, and overall, those three are 35% owned. It's incredibly low when you think about it. Now, of course that is overall and there's some dead teams. In the top 100k, the ownership's about double that for all three. But of course, we've got 11 players that we start each week, so if we chuck in another popular pick, Isak for example, suddenly those 4 players are 8.4% owned overall, so owning those 4 in itself is a differential. We're in the top 100k, just 21% own all 4. The way I personally tend to play, and I should say there's no right or wrong way to play FPL, is to ride the template with the main picks with some differentials sprinkled in. So I've got those 4 players, and then I've got Bowen, Strand Larson and Colwell, all under 10% owned. That's more than enough really. So keep making solid decisions, and again, don't go differential purely for the sake of it. Imagine you take a huge punt on a player that doesn't come off, then you're even more behind. And keep in mind that owning these multiple players in combination is differential. Ari asks whether to go Bowen to Enzo to fund Cunha to Isak. The thing about Bowen and Cunha is they've got amazing fixtures this week, and this really could be one that backfires. Bowen's always got a 1 goal, 1 assist type match in him, especially when the fixture's good, while we've not seen that from Enzo as good as he's been. We've still not heard the outcome of the FA's charge on Cunha either. If he is out for Gameweek 17, then it's a pair of moves worth making then. So on the subject of Cunha, FPL Hugo asks who the best replacement for Cunha is. So we'll do this one if, hypothetically, before the deadline the news drops that he's banned for this game week onwards, otherwise you have to keep him for Leicester. So first of all, Isak and Jackson are the best 2 replacements in that order, if you can find the money for them, like Ari on the slide before. But let's talk some forwards more specifically around the same price point, Wood and Jimenez. Wood's got 10 goals this season, Jimenez has got 5 goals, 2 assists. By the way, did anyone notice they updated the fixture difficulty ratings this morning? They can be deceiving because they're an overall rating only. Brentford away is not a red fixture for Wood in my eyes, nor Spurs home actually. Brentford have been amazingly offensively home, but they're still 14th for expected goals conceded in home games, and now Pinnock's got a hamstring injury, and Van der Berg could miss out as well with a groin injury. And obviously Spurs missing loads of players at the back as well. That all said, Fulham clearly have got the better fixtures for the next 6 game weeks, so is Jimenez better? The problem with Jimenez is minutes. He comes off early basically every game, which happened again last match actually, and Muniz even came on and scored against Liverpool. So I'd say that Wood's the best Cunha replacement all things considered. Let's pull up the scout selection for Gameweek 17 and have a look at the best team this week in their view. How many have you got? Their team is Anana, Gabriel, Robinson, Hall, Salah, Palmer, Saka, Bowen, Isak, Vardy and Rao. Vardy another one actually, he's a no-go as a Cunha replacement for me. After Wolves it's Liverpool, Man City and Villa. Robinson makes a lot of sense this week and I think he's the most popular 8 Norrie replacement, which I would agree with. Hall's got a nice fixture as well, but after Ipswich they've got Villa home and then Man United and Spurs away. 6 players for me this week. So what are the market probabilities looking like for Gameweek 17? So the projected goals and clean sheet odds basically. Liverpool lead this week on projected goals with 2.4, and then it's Fulham 2.3, Chelsea 2.05, and then Newcastle exactly 2. As far as clean sheet odds, Arsenal and Fulham are joint top with 38%, and then Chelsea 34, Newcastle 31. Colwell, another really solid 8 Norrie replacement to consider for 4.6 mil by the way, but Robertson I like even more. Salah looking like he's going to be the favourite for captaincy this week, and that fixture is expected to be a high scoring one. Question from you pretentious MF, interesting username, says, how do I stop my habit of needing at least 1 transfer per game week because I've had a lot of -4s? Well, a good starting point is having a strong core in your FPL team, such as Saka, Salah, Palmer, Isak, Gabriel, Raya. Immediately, that's 6 positions that you don't need to worry about needing a transfer at any point, or 7 really, including the backup keeper to Raya. So that's half your team sorted. Next, when making a transfer, look at players that are good for at least 4 game weeks. 5 or 6 plus is even better if there's an opportunity that presents itself there. Again, if you're doing that, then that's a spot in your team that's sorted for a while barring injuries. Doing all of this in combination basically brings down the likelihood of you needing to make a transfer. It increases the likelihood of rolling, and it decreases the likelihood of needing to take a -4 hit. Like, let's imagine a premium gets injured at some point, and you go down to a cheaper midfielder like Bruno. With 2 transfers, you can suddenly also make an upgrade elsewhere, like bringing in Isak, Trent, Gabriel, or whoever in combination, so you gain even more straight off the bat. So 2 free transfers is really powerful in FPL, let alone if you can get to 3, 4 or even 5. Don't go chasing last week's points either. Hopefully that all makes sense. In a nutshell, build a very strong core of your team and make moves for the long term so you're not trying to keep your head above water every week. Question from Brandon, buy Ahmad or Enzo? Big question this one. Let's compare them on some various metrics to break it down. First of all, price wise it's a tie. Well, Ahmad's 0.1 mil more, so no clear winner there. What about fixtures? Well, Chelsea's run of green fixtures is looking a bit more grey after the ratings update this morning. Those fixtures are still the same, just the colour ratings have been changed to something different. Enzo's got the better fixture run for the next 6. That said, Ahmad from GW17 looks quality when he's got Southampton home, Brighton home, Fulham away, Crystal Palace home. What about underlying numbers? Let's use the last 6 as that's a fair comparison because that's when Enzo actually started getting his starts and in that new role. 2.97 expected goal involvement for Enzo, 1.92 for Ahmad. Enzo's created 6 more chances, Ahmad's taken 5 more shots. However, their XG is very similar, so Enzo's had more quality shots. Enzo wins on underlying numbers basically. The bottom line, by the way, is both look like incredible value, so if you've got a gut feeling with one of them, go for it. My pick would be Enzo number 1, then Ahmad. I don't dislike the double up either, or maybe even switching from Enzo to Ahmad in Gameweek 21. Next segment, let's have a quick skim through the key news from today's press conferences ahead of Gameweek 17. So Spurs are going to be hosting Liverpool, and Postecoglou says Udogie will be checked, no injury, but he's a bit sore from the game. He's not ruled out, but we'll have to see how he is with the turnaround. Vicario, Van der Ven, Romero and Davies among those still sidelined. Hermansen came off injured last match for Leicester and he faces a late fitness test. Winks is available while Ndidi's still out, so it's a fixture with a lot of potential for Fulham. Iwobi's my favourite pick, who's the safest for minutes. Jimenez is obviously great as well, but riskier for minutes. Fun stat here, teams playing Southampton have produced 16 double-digit returns this season in 16 games, which is more than any team. Bradley and Konate remain out for Liverpool. Good news if you've got Trent, if there ever was a chance of him getting a rest for that Leicester home game in Gameweek 18. Robertson is available for Liverpool after serving his suspension in the League Cup midweek. Alisson, Van Dijk and Salah all got a full rest midweek, not named in the League Cup squad. Pep says that Ruben Diaz is out for 3 to 4 weeks and Ederson's also a doubt for the Villa game. However, Akanji and Stones could be involved for City. Anderson's been seen back in training for Fulham, who could be a really useful pick for only 4.2 mil. I think the question there is whether he comes straight back in on his return from injury, or whether Silva sticks with Bassi and Diop in centre back, who haven't done badly to be fair. Silva said that Tete is going to be out for a long period, but he doesn't need surgery. Pereira is suspended for Gameweek 17, and Nelson and Reed remain out. Good news for everyone with Arsenal defenders. Rice and Calafiori are both available for Gameweek 17. Arsenal almost at full strength. Zinchenko probably going to be available as well, Arteta says. Annoyingly, we didn't really get an update on Cunha from Vitor Pereira's first press conference as Wolves manager. He was asked about him being available and he said, "I'm not sure, he's an important player." There's still a chance that the FA or Wolves officially announce something before the deadline, so if you've got him, save your transfers for as late as possible. That's the sensible play. It's a great fixture for him and Wolves if he's available. Finishing up with some final thoughts on my team. This week it's Raya Colwill, Gabriel Van Heck, Bowen Palmer, Saka Salah, Wood, Strand Larsen and Isak. And the bench is Fabianski, Semenyo, Pedro Porro and Greaves. Got nothing in the bank, so Van Heck to Robertson's ruled out. Van Heck, the only area of concern for me this week. There's no defenders for 4.5 mil or less that look worth bringing in. There are other Fulham options like Bassi, but I'm not keen on it. So the plan is to roll this week and take 2 free transfers into Gameweek 18, and then I'll make a call on buying Trent or Van Dijk. Trent does involve selling Bowen for Enzo, so I'm not settled on that one, and I'll need to spend some more time weighing it up. Particularly if there's any outside chance at all that Trent gets a rest against Leicester home in this busy period. If Bradley's still out by then realistically it'd have to mean Gomez or Quansah in right back, with the other one playing centre back, so that probably doesn't happen. We're going to be live right here Saturday morning for the deadline. I'm going to dig out a Christmas jumper for it. See you then.